And while we continue to keep a close eye on those developments and what is being said right now, after weeks of escalation, a fragile ceasefire between the US and Iran may have paused the missiles, but it has not silenced the questions and the tensions. In the US, the war is now hitting where it hurts most in a way, average Americans' pockets. There's a lot of politics and also questions over public trust. From the rising fuel costs to a deepening political divide, Americans are grappling with what this conflict really means for their future. Our next report laying it out for you.
The aftershocks of the war with Iran are echoing across the United States. A conflict that lasted just weeks has left a lasting mark, not on the battlefield alone, but across the American economy and public mood. For many, the most immediate impact is economic. Rising fuel prices, supply chain disruptions, and market uncertainty are beginning to squeeze households and small businesses alike. The cost of living, already a pressure point, is now tied directly to a war thousands of miles away.
You start talking about fertilizer prices, we saw an increase of like our liquid nitrogen that we run went up, $100, $150 a ton.
Cash flow here is tight, and especially was tight last year at the end of this growing season. We just didn't have a good growing season, so we couldn't pre-buy a lot of those inputs. So yeah, we got hit at the worst possible time because we're trying to buy fertilizer when it skyrockets and when the supply also gets cut.
The war in Iran has fueled the biggest jump in US inflation in nearly 4 years and sent consumer sentiment tumbling to a record low. Economists say that's just the beginning.
The impact of the high car prices is a little bit different because we're not all buying a new car every year, usually. But it does mean that especially for lower income consumers, finding a good, reliable car has gotten much harder.
But this is not just an economic story, it is a political one. The war, launched without broad consensus, has exposed sharp divisions. Support and opposition are split along partisan lines, reflecting a country that is deeply polarized on foreign policy, leadership, and the use of force. For some, the war feels distant, a story confined to screens and headlines. For others, it is a source of real anxiety, especially as fears grow over a prolonged conflict or deeper military involvement. Concerns over global trade routes, energy security, and possible retaliation are adding to a sense of unease. The ceasefire may have lowered the temperature, but it has not removed the risk. The ceasefire may hold, or it may not. But one thing is clear, for many Americans, this war is no longer just about foreign policy. It is about their economy, their security, and their future. Bureau Report, WION World is One.